Unions have helped build stability and prosperity for the middle class in Canada over the past century. But the rate of unionized jobs dropped by almost 9% between 1981 and 2019. Private sector companies now only have about 15% of their workers unionized. Is the future for unionized jobs in peril? What role does unionized labor still play to protect workers? And are governments doing enough to encourage businesses to create secure, safe, and well-paying jobs? Our experiment plays Political Cupid by taking two opposing politicians out of their comfort zone and forces them to listen to one another.
Government, labor, business working together is the recipe for success.
We're sending them on a series of platonic dates to solve the thorniest issues facing Canadians.
How can I feed my family and how can I continue to do this job when I'm emotionally broken?
Who will seduce the other with logic or passion? And what surprises are in store?
Well, the good Tory is a suppository.
This is Political Blind Date.
Monty McNaughton, MPP for Lambton Kent Middlesex and Ontario's Minister of Labour Training and Skills Development. I was born in Newbury, Ontario. Yeah, my mom and dad, Gary and Susan McNaughton, certainly are my mentors. On day one, when they bought the local home hardware store in Newbury, it was just the two of them. And they worked really, really hard, long hours, and they truly inspired me. I was fortunate enough to be chosen to be a page at Queen's Park, serving water during question period, papers around the legislature, and that piqued my interest in provincial politics. Hospitals and schools and roads and bridges are the responsibility of the province. That's why I always wanted to serve provincially, because a lot of the things that the provincial government is responsible for really affects families and individuals on a very personal level. And then I joined our family business, a home hardware building center, an auto and farm supply store. I worked there many years, but at the same time, I also ran for town council in Newbury and got elected and served about 3 terms on town council. My mission is to spread opportunity more widely and fairly. One of the things I'm proud of as Minister of Labour Training and Skills Development is we've worked with our labour partners to upskill and retrain and train people to pick up careers in the skilled trades. I mean, these are great paychecks with pensions and benefits in many cases. So it's really an all-hands-on-deck effort to work with labour, to work with government and businesses to promote the trades.
I'm Jerry Dias, and I'm the National President of Unifor, representing 315,000 workers in the 20 largest economic sectors in Canada. My parents came from Guyana in the early 50s, settled in Scarborough. I was raised in a strong union working class family. My father was busy in the labor movement. I think I got my brash, in-your-face behavior to a large extent from my father, and I'd like to think I learned a lot about compassion from my mother. Well, I went to York University because I wanted to be a phys ed teacher. And well, that didn't work out very well because I hated school. You know, there was an opening as a shop steward in my area. I ran. And I ended up getting elected, but I'll never forget the message that those workers at de Havilland Aircraft said to me. They said, listen, I'm going to vote for you out of sheer respect for your father. But this will be the only time I'll vote for you based on your name. You're going to have to earn my support after that. The Reopening Ontario Act stripped workers' rights. It ripped up collective agreements. So some of the frontline essential workers, PSW, grocery store workers, ended up having some of their most basic rights trampled on. It forced mandatory overtime. It gave the companies unilateral rights to change their shifts. So here's the people that we depended on the most during the pandemic are the same workers got screwed the hardest, and they called it the Reopening Ontario Act. They should be ashamed of themselves. So the government's got a lot of explaining to do, and they have a lot of work to do before they start to win back the trust of people.
Almost 30% of Canadian workers belong to a union, but the numbers have been dropping for decades. Most union members are now older public sector workers, while younger people are drawn to the gig economy. But still, unionization rates have ticked up for the first time in many years during the COVID-19 pandemic, with Canada's union memberships increasing to just over 31% in the past 2 years. Union leaders say that workers such as grocery store employees, suddenly labeled frontline workers, realized they didn't have many protections despite being put at great risk. And frontline healthcare workers, particularly those working in long-term care facilities, are worried about the Ontario government's Bill 124, which freezes the pay raise for nurses and other healthcare providers to only 1% per year, well below the rate of inflation. The Ontario government is focused on making sure companies can get the skilled workers they need. They have supported initiatives to get skilled trades jobs filled and have promised $4.9 billion to hire thousands of personal support workers for long-term care facilities. But are these programs enough? And will precarious workers stay in their jobs if their conditions and pay can't be improved? Monty and Jerry are spending the day together. Rare for a Labour minister and the head of Canada's largest private sector union. Will they butt heads? Or might they find common ground?
I've known Jerry a couple of years. One thing about Jerry, if he doesn't agree with something, he's not shy. He tells you straight up, and I like that.
Monty's the Minister of Labour. So the real question is he the Minister of Labour for working class people? Or is he the minister for providing cheap labor for companies?
If we want to build projects on time and on budget in construction, for example, we need to get more people into the trades. We know many in the trades making six figures with pensions and benefits.
There's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of changes that need to be made. The question is, do you have governments that have the will to frankly take on the corporate community? Monty's got a decent sense of humor for sure. He's also a conservative, so we are going to agree to disagree, and that's okay. There's a lot of work to do. We just need to make sure that, sometimes, like, ideology is a wonderful thing, but sometimes it can get in the way of good common sense as well.
Pragmatism.
So it's about getting people back to work. But look, we need champions.
Well, look, I just think government, labor, business working together is a recipe for success.
So we got to tackle key things which we always talk about, but nobody does anything about. Women today still make about 72% of what men do. We know that if you're a woman of color, you're making even less than a white woman. And we know that workers of color in this country make less money than white men. We live in this era, and we know the numbers. The question is, what the hell are we going to do about it?
Well, look, you're right. That's one of my missions, is to get more people into the skilled trades. We're focusing on recruiting Indigenous peoples, women, underrepresented groups. We did a partnership down in Sarnia recently where 60 participants from Kettle and Stony Point and other First Nations reserves are getting a 12-week program into the trades, an opportunity to start an apprenticeship program. We're providing free transportation, living allowances as they go through this program.
Hi, I'm Jerry.
Hi, I'm Dolores.
Hi, Dolores. Nice to meet you.
My daughter and I come in here a lot.
Does he tip well or is he cheap?
Definitely.
Okay. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Look, you and I are talking about the issues of the day, and we know them. It's all documented. We see it, and we're watching the pandemic. So it's time to roll up your sleeve.
Good. Looking forward to this.
Absolute
Thanks.
pleasure. All right.
Welcome to the London International Airport. Fanshawe College has a campus here.
Yep. Aeronautics, isn't it?
Yeah, aviation.
Monty wants Jerry to see a skilled trades training program at Fanshawe College that his government supports.
This is very impressive.
Jerry?
Sir?
Larry?
How are you?
Nice to meet you. Larry Weir.
Larry's the
Pleasure, Larry.
driving force of the program here.
Well, this is my bag.
Right
I'm an
on.
aerospace guy.
He started.
think we
I'm
were-
a hold to Havilland aircraft guy.
So was I. I was in Downsview in 79, 80, 81. How about you?
I started in 76, quit, came back in 1978.
Wow, just missed each other.
Well, it was important for Jerry to see what our local colleges were doing to train the tradespeople of the future, whether it's in the aerospace industry or in the automotive industry or many other manufacturing places across the province.
I completed my bachelor's in aeronautics in engineering. I wanted to know more about how it works actually in the industry, right? Back home, we had Fanshawe College back home.
When you say back home,
India.
In India?
Yeah.
Okay, Fanshawe was over there, great.
Came here in 2017, and then I started off here.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks.
There's even a saying that goes, without aircraft maintenance professional, the world wouldn't fly.
So true.
Yeah. My program is aviation technician, aircraft maintenance. Now I am very confident since I've been here for the last 2 years. Being outside in the industry, it's going to be really good since Fanshawe has about 90% students opportunity after they graduate to get careers. And
Amazing.
my long-term career goal is to become a pilot.
Great.
But also becoming a mechanic is actually getting to see what's behind the cockpit, the whole mechanism of everything, of the electronical parts and all that, which you get to learn here in Fanshawe with their different programs. There's a pilot program right now,
Yes, yeah.
and like flight attendant program, which is so many great opportunities.
So these are incredible opportunities because, look, when I started in the aerospace industry back in the late 70s, if there was 3,000 people in the plant, you can count the women on one hand. So to see the industry changing and evolving, which it is, and now to see young women are getting into an important, critical manufacturing industry in this country, it was very good. Well, I bet we can count the number of AMEs that are women on one hand in this country. It's true. So congratulations, that is incredible.
Great career ahead of both of you. 1 in 3 journey persons today is over the age of 55. We have a looming crisis in front of us. Many tradespeople are about to retire. We need more people in the skilled trades. And thanks for making London, Ontario, and Canada better. We have to work together to reskill and upskill and retrain workers. So that's where I think there's real synergy there for all of us to work together.
And I just got hopped into the vehicle now with Monty, and we're resuming. So I'll call you when I'm finished. That's right, Monty. He says the good Tory, he says. Well, the good Tory is a suppository. Talk later. Bye. Hey, a good Tory.
Used that line
Good
before?
Tory, yeah, good Tory
I've
is
never
a
heard that
suppository.
line.
You never heard it? There you go.
To end his date, Monty wants to take Jerry to a business that has benefited from skilled trades programs like the one run at Fanshawe College.
It's been one of the biggest changes in our industry. Like it used to be, your apprentices were fed from farm kids and stuff like that. They'd come and work for 10 to 15 years or whatever and potentially go home and take over the farm. It's definitely harder getting young applicants that have been exposed to operating this kind of equipment before, so. This is Brendan Joy. He's our most recent graduate.
I'm Monty.
I'm Brendan.
Brendan, nice
Hi,
to
Brendan,
meet
Jerry, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
you. So Brendan, where'd you go to school for your apprenticeship program?
Fanshawe College. I just finished level 3 in April, so I'm done
good.
now.
Good, congratulations.
There's all these incredible opportunities, but it's about commitments of government, it's about academia, it's about getting everybody in a room to say, here's where the industry is heading, here's what the changes are going to look like, so how do we prepare young people for it?
Yep.
So that's an area of commonality that we have. We have a lot of areas where we may disagree, but this is a great area where we agree.
What age did you decide that you wanted to get into this business?
Probably in grade like 1 or 2 that I wanted. My family's all into farming and eggs, so I knew that I wanted to go right into this. So
we're going to be introducing the skilled trades as early as grade 1. And starting in September, I'm sending in recruiters into every high school in the province to attract kids into the trades and basically talk about the different pathways. Instead of, basically telling every student they have to go to university to be successful, there's other career paths.
But working on a machine like this will give you incredible pride. So you're right, that's why the co-op programs are critical. That's why it's about young people saying, hey, this is something I want to do.
Yep. I think that's what I signed up with when I did my co-op in grade 11.
So essentially, the average age of an apprentice in Ontario is 30. But with the reforms we're doing, in many of the trades, we want them to be journey persons at 20. So meaning we're going to start the apprenticeship programs in grade 9, so they can get their level 1 and possibly level 2 before they complete high school. I grew up, our family had a hardware farm, automotive parts supply business, and if someone came in and when we were hiring and they lived on a farm, my dad didn't even have to interview them. They got a job because they're good workers and they're well-versed. I mean, you've been probably working on this type of stuff forever.
It was a stark reminder of how technology is changing the industry, because the tractors today are computers on wheels. It takes a completely different skill set to run a tractor today than, of course, ones that were built in the past. It was my pleasure. I learned a lot today. Yeah. We got through the day without killing each other. That was a good start.
I can't wait till the second date.
It'll be live, at least it'll be on my turf.
That's right. All right, you exit to the left, I'll go to the right. See you later.
Take care.
Today's announcement is good news for workers, their families, and everyone in all of our communities. And it truly is an important step in rebalancing the scales and putting workers in the driver's seat.
Now, it's Jerry's turn.
Long time no see. Long time. Good to see you. Good to see you as well.
Great.
Let's get started. Fix a few things that need to get done. The reaction, I don't know about you, but the reaction that I got from the $15 was very good. I went into a restaurant and the server recognized me right off the bat and said thank you for the increase that included the servers with minimum wage. Right. I mean, it's the same conversation, which is
from
true.
The $12.55 to the $15.
Correct. But people are still saying, and there's a recognition that $15 is a good start. But in order for us to get to a living wage in Toronto, it's $22 an hour. Where you're from, down in London area, is about $16.20 an hour. But in order to get to 16 and 17 and higher, you got to get to 15 first. So I understand the argument. But I think it's important for Monty to listen and look in the eyes of those that their policies have negatively impacted the most. I would like for you to meet Emily. Emily.
Jerry wants Monty to meet a personal support worker who's been traumatized by the COVID-19 pandemic and the government's response to it.
So I work for long-term care that's not-for-profit. And we were affected before Bill 124, and we were having problems getting staff in the door. And then when Bill 124 happened and COVID happened, we lost even more. Right now, there's no one. There's no one coming to our rescue. Long-term care, especially non-for-profit right now, is struggling to stay afloat.
In terms of?
Let me tell you exactly what Bill 124 did to us. We lost our rights for fair bargaining, to bargain freely, to sit with the employers and say, fair work, equal pay, all of that. When COVID hit, we lost a lot of people. A lot of our workers, some of them got COVID and had to stay off, and we had no one to replace them. It hasn't gotten better It's actually gotten a lot worse.
Are you seeing any of the new trainees yet in the homes? I mean, we're planning on hiring 27,000, and I think just over 8,000 are in training or on the job. Have you seen any of those yet?
No, we have not seen. We see few and far between students that come in, but they're not staying. They're not going to stay.
So it's a disaster. I understand the argument about we're going to hire all these people. It sounds great, but if people get paid like crap, they're not going to come. And that's why people keep leaving.
So I just wanted to ask, on that pay increase, the temporary pay increase, has that made a difference?
No, we get the temporary
Right.
wage increase of $3.
Right.
We do. How can I stay? How can I feed my family, and how can I continue to do this job when I'm emotionally broken and then Bill 124 hits me this hard? And then you make long-term care non-for-profit look so unattractive that I will think twice if I do leave this job. I will think twice about working for a non-for-profit long-term care organization.
Yeah, and we need you.
So we can bargain for a for-profit long-term care facilities over the 1%, but we can't in a not-for-profit. It's just completely ridiculous because people are furious, they're frustrated, they're disrespected.
Our question is, why wasn't it repealed when COVID hit?
Well,
what
the
does that
system
say to
was
us?
obviously broken for many years before that, and we are moving to fix it.
We're just broken. We're absolutely broken. We're asking for your help.
Well, thanks for sharing your story, and I will make sure that this message is delivered. You know, Emily shared an emotional story, one that I've heard from literally dozens and dozens of people. That's my job as the minister, and that's how we fix problems, is by listening to people on the front lines. They know what's happening in their line of work. I will make sure that I take back that feedback to the cabinet table.
We're not heroes. You guys call us heroes, but we don't feel like heroes. We're warriors, because what we did was fight for their right to live, to protect them, to do the best that we possibly could to stop the spread. And it didn't matter to this government. And now we're exhausted, and our PTSD is real. And I lost my brother-in-law to it, and I can't recover. So help me. Help us fix it, please.
We will, and we are. I commit that. Yeah, look, Emily is a hero, and I loved what she said. They're not just heroes, they're warriors. We're not going back to where we were before the pandemic hit.
We can't go back.
And we're significantly investing to fix the system. We've admitted it's broken, and we are making major changes to improve it for the workers and for the residents.
We'll hold you to that.
Yes.
We will.
Thank you.
Emily,
Thank you so much
for sharing your story, and I'm really sorry for everything.
Thank you so much.
But thanks for all you've done, too.
Thank you so much.
Well, the pay bump has been extended, and I know we've extended it a number of times. And as you know, Minister Phillips is leading this charge to fix this broken system.
Yep.
And it's going to take all of us to improve it. I know you and your team are playing a big role in this, but it's going to take all of us to fix this.
Look, you got to make the $3. You got to make the $3 permanent, because everybody believes that the second the election is over, you're going to take away the $3.
We brought in paid sick days during the pandemic.
Oh yeah, during the pandemic. Is it permanent?
We brought in 3 paid sick days plus the 4 weeks.
Is it permanent?
And that's
Is it
our
permanent?
start.
Is it permanent? No, it's not permanent. There's one thing about talking about the incredible contribution and thanking people each and every day, but it's actions that are more important than words.
To wrap up his date, Jerry wants Monty to talk to a frontline grocery store worker who has concerns that the government is not doing enough to protect people like her.
I grew up in retail too, a home hardware store.
Well, good. Then when you tell him what's wrong with the system, you'll fix it since he
already knows. Yeah.
That's right.
I love retail. Well, thanks for coming today to talk.
Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Anytime.
I hope you hear too.
I do. Can you tell me about where you work, if the corporation had a temporary pay increase in your place of work?
They did. There was a $2 an hour increase. Just for a few months.
And then they took that away, right?
As quick as it came.
Yeah.
We had a couple days notice and it was gone. And the major retailers, they all kind of stuck together and they all got rid of it pretty much on the same day, I believe.
Total collusion.
We saw these large corporations give a temporary $2 pay increase and then yank that away. That's a problem. I mean, that's why I say very publicly, now's the time to rebalance the scales, and everybody needs a bigger chunk of the economic pie. And it's for this reason. And we've started making some changes. There are more to come that will, ensure that workers have more take-home pay and more worker protections and, more opportunities for even better jobs.
All right, Tammy, now's your time. Tell them. I want paid sick days. Now tell them.
We all want paid sick days. I'll speak for everybody in the grocery industry and the retail industry as a whole. We don't want, need.
We look at the stats. Many of them have been used for people to get vaccinated, to recoup from vaccinations. If they're having mental health issues, if they have a son or daughter sick from school, they can stay home. Like we made them very flexible. And no, they're being used when they're needed.
And hopefully when you make them permanent, they will stay flexible.
I like the flexibility. Well, thanks for everything that you've done.
It was nice
and
to
to your
meet
colleagues
you.
as well. And we're here for you. And Jerry will give you my cell number if you need anything. Text me, call me anytime.
And I'll remember this conversation.
Yes, you will.
And hold you accountable.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Jerry.
Always a pleasure. So nice to see you again.
It was great meeting Tammy. She works in retail, which is my background. Tammy was on the front lines. I mean, she was serving prepared foods to customers. Well, that was a fun couple of days.
It was an interesting couple of days, to say the least.
Thanks for your time. And I'm glad I'm
You're
to the
always
right of
on
you
my
again.
right. No, you're always on my right.
You keep pulling me.
It doesn't matter what I do, you'll always be to my right. Look, the key thing of today, you got to repeal 124. We're negatively impacting the people that need our help the most.
We definitely met two heroes today, been on the front lines. We brought forward, as you know, many changes over the last few weeks, more to come, but we're going to continue working together.
Real pleasure.
Good to see you. Thanks.
Pleasure.
Take care.
Tens of thousands of Ontarians work in advanced high-tech manufacturing. What can government do to make sure that the sector flourishes and grows? Our experiment plays Political Cupid by taking two opposing politicians out of their comfort zone.
And the advanced manufacturing, this is a sector here that continues to grow.
And forces them to listen to one another.
Your government almost bankrupted this province.
We're sending them on a series of platonic dates to solve the thorniest issues facing Canadians.
I had a bit of impatience that this is called corporate welfare.
She's a liberal. I won't hold it against her.
Who will seduce the other with logic or passion? And what surprises are in store? This is Political Blind Date.
I was inaugurated on December the 4th, and I'm also a Region of Waterloo councillor. My husband and I have raised a combined family of 6, and our oldest suffers from a severe lung condition. He narrowly avoided a lung transplant because his lung function had dropped so low. So picture a kid that can barely breathe, that spent a lot of his day in oxygen, On a smog day in the early 1990s, we were looking at smog days sometimes numbering 30 to 50 in any given summer. It was a searing time as a family, and at that time, as a healthcare provider, I thought, what can we do differently? How can I influence policy at its highest level to make sure we have cleaner air to breathe? So when someone finally asked me to run, I knew why I wanted to run, and I knew how I was going to do it. In June, I was not elected any longer, and then moved forward into what the next phase of my life was going to look like. I am now a nonpartisan municipal mayor who's responsible for the employees in my communities and for the businesses who are asking me to help liaise with other government levels in order to provide them the support that they need in order to provide a great quality of life and economic value into our community of Cambridge.
My name is Donna Skelly, and I am the MPP for Flamborough-Glanbrook. I'm a Conservative, and I'm also the Parliamentary Assistant to the Minister of Economic Development, Job Creation and Trade. I was born in a little tiny town called Capril. Small town, 2,700 people. My father was a railroad engineer, and a mother who's a very strong presence in my life. My grandmother, actually, I would say, is probably one of the more influential women in my life. And she really inspired me to do what I wanted to do. When you're a working mother, it's tough. But when you're in politics, you are the focus of so much anger from some people because of their opposition to the policies that you bring forward. And the unfortunate part is sometimes your families have to see that and be part of it. While co-hosting a show on CHCH television, Square Off, I was getting really frustrated with the current government at the time, the Liberal government, specifically about what I thought was one of the worst policies ever introduced in Ontario, and that was the Green Energy Act. I felt the more I listened, I realized that this government was going to destroy this province with this particular policy. And I decided at that point that I wasn't just going to be a person who would challenge politicians, but hopefully become a politician and make changes. We have a huge opportunity in Ontario in the advanced manufacturing sector, and we are a government that's listening and will work with you to ensure that you can be the best that you can be, because when you're good, we are good.
The future of manufacturing jobs may be the most secure in the high-tech sectors such as aerospace, nuclear, medical, and nanotechnology. For skilled tradespeople and engineers, homegrown advanced manufacturing companies are where they expect to find future work. Some leaders say that to encourage and grow innovative Ontario companies, the government needs to continue financial assistance programs which help businesses create new jobs, invest in new technologies, equipment, and skills training for workers. The Ontario government says that reducing red tape and removing cumbersome regulations will help these companies thrive, and that we can't continue to throw money at them in the hope they'll be successful. What role does government need to play to make sure that these companies stay in the province and flourish? Catherine and Donna are spending the day together, rare for rival politicians. Will they butt heads, or might they find common ground?
I think that many people before a blind date have been nervous. That's what I'm told. As I said, I've never been on a blind date in my life. I don't think I'm nervous as much as I'm kind of excited to see MPP Skelly and what makes her tick, what her background is.
Do you know, I've never been on a blind date, especially a blind date with a woman. I've never. No, this is going to be fun.
Find out why she ran and what goals she wants to accomplish for her riding.
We both have been to Queen's Park. I mean, she's a liberal. I won't hold it against her. And I'm a conservative. And of course, she led the party, or not led the party, but was part of a party that created a fiscal mess. So
yes, I am looking forward to seeing what happens today. Hello. Hi, Donna.
I'm going to give you a hug.
Nice to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, well, thanks for coming for a blind date.
Great, I know.
This was a true blind date. I had never met her.
But we're also moms in politics.
5 boys, 1 girl.
Wow. I have 2 boys.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 22 and 24. So.
I have a 22 and a 25-year-old.
I don't know if I could have done what I do today with really young children. I'm just curious how the challenges that you faced as a woman in politics.
As a woman in politics, I have a saying, it's hard work to be a girl. You have all the responsibilities of an elected position, but as a woman, we're often the caretakers of our family. Sometimes women are judged more harshly on how they look, what they wear, what their hairstyles are like. If we can work in a nonpartisan way, remember that we're people first, and that we're there for the good of our community. And to be respectful in dialoguing, and respectful dialogue will ensure that more women in politics will want to step up.
Oh, I don't know. You know, I hear that a lot. Women can be just as tough.
Yes,
and they can be just as ugly in politics. I've seen it, and it's disappointing.
It is very disappointing.
I got into politics, actually, the first time I ran was 2011, and it's interesting, I was a journalist for years, and we were discussing current events, and this particular issue was an ongoing issue over the Green Energy Act. And I think fast forward, it was the reason we have such high hydro rates and caused undue hardship for families and for businesses. So it was that particular issue that was the factor that drove me into politics.
So in a grassroots way, and often it is issues-based for
And what
women.
about you? I'm just curious, you were a nurse?
Yes, I was a nurse, so healthcare was at the core of my decision to run. Our oldest has very severe lung disease, narrowly missed needing a lung transplant in the early 1990s. The happy news was, as he grew, his lung function improved to the point where he didn't need a lung transplant. And here's my hero. He's now 39, married with 2 children. But that was my why. I recognize that right here in Waterloo Region, we are known throughout Canada and now worldwide as a tech hub.
It's interesting though, and Canada is certainly a leader in this area. The investment coming from all manufacturers who want to be players in the game.
When you look at the ecosystem we have here, University of Waterloo has about 14 different engineering programs, and then we've got the manufacturing facilities that can take those ideas and actually manage to manufacture highly skilled devices that assist in manufacturing no matter what business you're in. That's why Waterloo Region needs the support it does in advanced manufacturing. So I'm really looking forward to taking you on a bit of a tour this afternoon to talk to 2 of the plant owners here. I think it'll be good for you to recognize how important it is for the provincial government to support our manufacturing sector.
We do. We're not a big supporter like your previous government in corporate welfare, but we believe we have to create an environment that allows businesses to thrive and encourages businesses from around the world to locate here. How about starting our date? Come on.
Shimco, a global company that has chosen Cambridge for its headquarters, provides dozens of high-tech jobs to skilled workers.
Hands-on, touchy-feely kind of thing.
So this is a part we make for the LEAP engines. We apply for funding for these machines. So this is a vertical CNC machine. So you can see here the cutting head that's cutting here. Whereas here he's loading material and this thing's actually cutting. So the advantage of this horizontal is that the cutting surface will pull away. It'll spray coolant on it, clean off the cutting head, and it keeps going.
And where are most of your clients?
all around the world. We shipped every continent. 4,000 parts with Bombardier, 1,000 parts with Bell Helicopter, US and Canada. We're so busy. We have 40% growth this year over last year.
That's incredible.
Yeah. And that's why I picked here. So when I bought the company in 2011, the choice was pretty simple, right? Because I wanted something close to the technology sector.
Yep.
But also that was still had a good pool of talent in the area for manufacturing. So the part of the grants and the loans we've applied for and been successful in getting is to actually bring our own painting line in here.
Okay.
So from this line all the way up is going to be a 2-story structure. So,
and what kind of grant did you get for that?
So we got a grant from the province and a loan from the Fed.
Under which program from the province?
The Scale Up and Growth one.
Okay.
Yep, on the SWAT of.
Funding seems to be a source of investment, and we have a bit of a different opinion on that.
Now remember, this is the lady that was part of the party that put us $350 billion in debt. So let's put all this into perspective. We were spending $40 million a day more than we brought in. We would have had a lot of money to give you. I'm sorry, but I have to say this. Your government almost bankrupted this province.
But we differ in that it's not all about financial handouts. Our government believes our role is to help businesses grow.
To me, it's about investment and investment in the right way, and we've agreed that investing in companies that are growing and expanding is important. I do know that I work very well with all members of any party and any government level. So I was a bit surprised when MPP Skelly would sometimes attack former government for some of the financial issues. The former government's record on finances is not all my fault.
Peter, I want to expand a little bit on that because we have been having this ongoing back and forth about corporate welfare versus investing in companies. It's not just about corporate welfare, it's also about the environment that was left to us by the previous government. Hydro costs, the lack of time to get permits to expand, duplicative red tape when you're talking about federal and provincial regulations that contradict and getting rid of that red tape. These are things that we're tackling, and I just want you to speak to that because it's not just about a grant. It's about an environment to work.
So we just speaking with the Ministry of the Environment, who need permits for all this. They said we're lucky now because the wait time has gone from 3 years to 1 year. And even 1 year, that still works for us because it'll take about a year to get everything going up and running.
Yeah, well, thank you, Peter. I really appreciate having Shimco here as the only plant in Canada, right here in Cambridge, that can do this kind of advanced manufacturing. And we want to make sure that what you need to grow and expand, we can assist you with.
And if there is anything that we can do, and I'm serious about red tape reduction, any glitches in terms of moving forward, you know where you can find us. Okay?
Thank you.
So that was interesting.
It really was.
In another part of Cambridge, Catherine wants Donna to visit a local company that has become a global success.
What are you manufacturing?
So we manufacture all of the parts and processes that go into custom automation.
So what does that mean?
It means basically somebody will come to us with a part.
Right.
So one of our clients, for instance, is Tesla. They'll come to us and they'll say they need a part of their car manufactured, they need this many parts, they need that much testing done. And so we'll start a process of first engineering. And then we'll, from engineering, we'll take it from there to the manufacturing process, then we'll do the full testing, and then we'll actually deliver it to them, train them how to use it, and then from there they take over. So to be able to control the process, we have skilled trades here. We have electricians, we have fabricators, we have tool and die makers, we have millwrights, mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, PLC programmers, robot programmers, vision programmers, PC-based programmers, and they're all employed here. And we do that to retain our know-how. And it's a big, big part of who we are.
What is the tie-in with Conestoga College, besides the fact that I understand you were a grad?
Many of the people that work here are grads from Conestoga College.
So one of the big issues, I think, is the idea of value, what's valued. If you go into an average grade 9 class in Ontario, anywhere, about 2 to 5% of the children or the students would think that they are going into trades. About 90% think they're going to university. That's a value system. It's a huge issue. The idea of applied learning is just as important as going to university.
And start at a younger age.
Absolutely.
We need to introduce children in elementary school to opportunities, because these are great jobs.
Absolutely.
High paying, benefits,
Absolutely.
et cetera, and the opportunities are incredible.
And it's another reason why Cambridge has such an advantage over so many other communities in Ontario. It's because of those post-secondary education facilities that do help us to resolve some of the skilled labor shortage.
That partnership between the private sector and our post-secondary institutions is invaluable, and we are encouraging it.
We were really impressed with Eclipse Automation's
games room. I challenged her to foosball.
Red? And how about a bottle of red? Go.
Okay, oh, I like this. Oh, no, 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 no.
I want that bottle of wine.
No, no! Okay, you win.
And she won, so cost me a bottle of red wine.
Really nice
It was
meeting
great
you.
to see you too.
Have a safe drive.
Travel safe, and I'll see you in a couple days.
Okay.
Okay.
Safe
bye
drive.
now.
Bye-bye.
Now it's Donna's turn.
Come on in. Good morning, Bella. How are you? You look great.
So do you. I'm really looking forward to our
So
day.
you have no idea?
I have none. This is a blind date round two.
This is going to be fun.
The Ontario government prefers to invest in infrastructure projects that benefit many companies, rather than giving money directly to individual businesses.
Oh, cornfields.
This is a government that recognizes we need to help businesses grow. And since we were elected, over 200,000 new jobs have been created, and I think that's a testament to the type of policies that we have implemented.
The province has invested $5 million in the L5 test facility in Ottawa, the first test track for autonomous vehicles in North America.
Primarily,
Walking on a road, I might add.
Isn't this bizarre? I mean, when you get up here, and it's almost like The Walking Dead when you get up here, and there's nobody around, and you're in the middle of an intersection.
Hello,
Hi.
Catherine. Pleasure to meet you.
Mayor of Cambridge.
Nice to meet you,
Nice to meet you, yes.
So this is, tell me all about it. This is so fun.
All right, well,
Is this the pod? This is the pod.
This is the pod. We call it the Pod Zero. Zero emissions, zero crashes, and zero drivers. This is our 4-seater, and it's all electric. It is what they call a first and last mile autonomous vehicle, which means...
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Shuttling between
yeah.
different modes of transportation.
It's like, you know, if you get off the bus or a train station and the weather is less than desirable. One of the reasons we came to Canada was to test all these different things because...
Snow and ice and sleet.
Yes,
And
yes,
heat.
and this wonderful site at L5 has given us the opportunity to really dive into that.
Are we going to go for a ride?
It's a good learned behavior.
Yeah.
Always buckle up.
Always buckle up.
Just like a mom. This road has a lot of bumps. Does this vehicle sense that? Or?
Well, one of the things that we've noticed in testing is when you're running LiDAR, when you hit these bumps, the lasers will scan the ground at different angles so it sees something come at it in a sense. So we have to use a different set of technology to maintain its location. And then we use GPS to know where it's at. We keep adding to the toolbox every 6 months. And so like one of the next big leaps is you see all the camera technology. We have ultrasonic cameras, paired cameras on these things. When the software gets ready, then you can use that because they work like our eyes do, because we can tell distance and rate of travel and where it's going and do predictive analysis on these things to make it even safer.
So this little autonomous vehicle could resolve some of the issues of the first and last mile that you have when you're trying to get the public to get on different forms of public transit.
And this is Tennille. Hi, Tennille. I'm Donna Skelly.
Hi, so good to meet you.
Nice to meet
Hi,
you.
Cass
This is
and
my
Gary.
date. So
Good to
tell
meet
us
you.
about your business.
We're seeing a lot of traction with intelligent infrastructure. So what that means for you guys is we see a way to make roads safer, right? So we have these devices that have various sensors, and they can detect people, bicycles, autonomous vehicles. We can get the autonomous pod to go. And as you see, they're going to come through here.
Right. And it's silent.
Shuttle approaching. Proceed with caution.
Oh, wow.
So when it trips whatever barrier you have set up, whether it be 10 feet, 20 feet from an intersection or anything like that, then you can get an audible alarm to tell you that the autonomous vehicle is approaching. You could do it at further distances, like you're mentioning, they're really quiet, right? So you have a crosswalk, somebody can hear it and know that something is coming.
Shuttle approaching. Proceed with caution.
I love you.
One of the issues that we have with the new electric vehicles is that they're quite quiet. So she showed us an orange cone technology to let the pedestrian know that these vehicles were approaching.
But right now what we work on, that's our bike lane solution. So we'll have our cyclist come down, he goes through the LiDAR there, it's tripped, and then you have your flashing lights. You're about to turn left, you didn't know, and now he's cleared through the intersection, gives him time, and now the lights are clear. And what we will do is, depending on the infrastructure, you would actually set that up to go further. So you'd measure this actual intersection, you'd measure the average time of a cyclist, and then you would say, okay, they are 50 feet out, we're gonna flash these lights for an additional 1, 2, 3, whatever minute you think it would take to make sure those are flashing safely for them to make it all the way through the intersection.
This would really tie into so many different aspects of road safety. Can I take it with me back to Cambridge today?
We can make it work. Thanks. Thank you guys so much for coming out and learning. We're excited to talk to you guys about more stuff.
Good luck. I
Thank
think you're going
you.
to play an integral part in the safety of our roads. I really do.
We hope to.
And I do too, so I would love to invite you to Cambridge at some point.
I would love to come down and check it out. I hope
All
you guys
right.
had a good date at the
We
L5.
did. Well, we have one more part of our date left. Grant, Donna Skelly.
Hi there. Good to see you.
And this is Catherine McGarry.
Catherine, nice to meet you. How's it going so far?
So far, so
Very
good.
good.
You had any of those interesting, blind date questions, like dog or cat person?
Not yet.
Oh, we haven't even started with
Dog.
that one. Cat.
Oh!
There you go.
This will be interesting. This is our car. We're here at L5, Ottawa L5. Fantastic. And this is a BlackBerry Kunix car with all kinds of gadgets on it. And
Yes.
what.
Should we
Cool.
jump in and talk about it? Let's get
Sure.
this
Let's go for a
date
ride.
started.
Yep.
So this is essentially what the LiDAR sees and what you're seeing various sensors on the car see. This will show you the route that we're on.
But a lot of these sensors that we have mounted on the vehicle, they're complementary, such that if you have fog or if you have inclement weather, other sensors will pick up that that burden. And knowing that it has a visibility of what is happening 360 degrees, it's going to be more enhanced than what a normal human would be able to see around the vehicle.
To witness and experience an autonomous vehicle, it's very interesting. I felt quite comfortable.
At the end of the day, obviously it's all about safety, security, reliability. We have to make the car drive and operate at least as well as we all drive. That's, at least get to that point in all weather, which is obviously where the big challenge is.
Yes, it is.
And then from there, then again, we can make them fully autonomous.
If I was to touch the steering wheel or the throttle or the brake or the big red button here, it would relinquish control of the vehicle, and it's entirely manual mode.
And we've got a really big red switch here that disables all the, we've never had to use
kill
it.
switch.
Yeah, just boom, done. So from a government perspective, do you get involved a lot in companies or legislation or anything like that related to autonomous vehicles?
On a provincial level, absolutely.
Yeah,
It's
good.
about infrastructure, and it's about just
Research.
creating the environment to allow you to do your research.
My experience here at L5 in Ottawa, it's a perfect example of municipal funding from Invest Ottawa, the province funding from our government, and the private sector collaborating on a project that is seeing tremendous growth.
What did you think? It was fabulous. Love to do it again, and it's been an absolute pleasure to meet you.
I had a fabulous time. I enjoyed today, and I learned an awful lot about the industry and really where we are.
Political blind date brings people together from different backgrounds, different political parties, different levels of government to debate an issue that both people feel very passionate about.
I will be going back to Cambridge, and we will hopefully be able to tour a number of other facilities.
And at the end of the day, learn a lot from each other, but create that network, forge those relationships that are essential in moving the government agenda forward.
This has really opened my eyes to the potential of reaching out and saying, we may disagree, but why not just grab a coffee and let's talk?
Hospital overcrowding has evolved from the occasional event to the norm in Ontario, even before the COVID-19 crisis, which severely tested the capacity of intensive care units. But once COVID-19 passes, will hospital capacity and services be overtaxed again? And are the Ontario government's plans to transform much-needed health services going to be enough? Our experiment plays political Cupid by taking two opposing politicians out of their comfort zone.
There are always different ideas how we can restructure our healthcare system.
And forces them to listen to one another.
Really want to try to push this government to do better. Hallway healthcare is certainly not a place of healing.
We're sending them on a series of platonic dates to solve the thorniest issues facing Canadians.
Get that thing open 24 hours, get more beds in there.
These facilities have lost our trust.
Who will seduce the other with logic or passion? And what surprises are in store? This is Political Blind Date.
My name's Natalia Kusendova. I'm the member of Provincial Parliament for the riding of Mississauga Centre. I moved several times with my family throughout Europe before finally in the year 2000 coming to Canada. And we were immigrants. My mom didn't speak English, had many precarious jobs. She cleaned people's houses. My mom, who is my role model, she worked so hard to raise me into a person who is responsible for herself. I really wanted a career which will be rewarding, which will be centered around people. And then I started working as a nurse, and I work in the emergency room at one of the local hospitals in Toronto. Hallway healthcare, I've experienced it. I lived it with my patients. Hallway is not a place of work, and it certainly is not a place of healing. And so I thought there's a lot of room for improvement. That was my motivation or the start of my political career. There's no world in which we can build enough brick and mortar beds to, to build that capacity within our system. So we truly need to rely more on innovation and on technology to deliver the healthcare that our patients need and deserve.
So my name is Sarah Singh, and I'm the member of Provincial Parliament in the riding of Brampton Centre. I also serve as the Deputy Leader of the official opposition here in Ontario. My mom has been one of the biggest role models in my life. She's a phenomenal woman, strength and resilience in ways that I can't even articulate. But my grandmothers, both of them, such an important part of my life. I always say they're the first feminists I ever knew. My paternal grandmother could not read when she came to Canada. She would always remind us that education was the one thing nobody could ever take away from you. I found that I was very drawn to teaching and educating other people about the issues that we were facing in the world. Not only just sharing what the issues were, but actually critically thinking about how do we solve those problems. I actually saw online an opportunity to volunteer with then MPP Jagmeet Singh. And so this is where finally I think my studies really connected with the politics. And that's really where I think the seed for a career in politics was planted. You know, we've seen the Conservative government cut quite a lot out of healthcare. There's a lot of disruption that's happened in the system as a result of the changes that have been proposed and the cuts that have been made. So I don't know if that's necessarily going to help end hallway healthcare here in the province.
Hospital overcrowding and oversubscribed treatment programs have become the new norm in many hospitals in Ontario, and that was before the COVID-19 crisis. The pandemic has pushed our hospitals to their limits, further exposing capacity gaps in the system. The Ontario government's 2018 Plan for the People aimed to create 15,000 new hospital beds over 5 years, with a promise of ending hallway medicine. The government says that reorganizing several health agencies within the province will allow for significant savings, needed more than ever as the COVID-19 crisis threatens the province's financial future. Critics say that hospital capacity has gotten worse since the Conservatives came to power, that some facilities were operating at nearly 600% over capacity before COVID-19. Will the Ontario government's plan make the system more efficient while also adding beds and much-needed programs? Or after COVID-19, will the system continue in its overburdened reality? Sarah and Natalia are spending the day together, rare for rival politicians. Will they butt heads, or might they find common ground?
No, actually, I have not been on a blind date, although my mom has definitely tried to set me up on them.
And she's from Brampton Centre. I'm from Mississauga Centre. So, you know, the two Centre girls are meeting up.
When you go to a hospital seeking care or treatment and you're waiting, you know, sometimes 8, 9, 10 plus hours in an emergency room to get care, I think that signals the system in crisis, and I think we should be working to fix that.
So as a true Conservative, I followed the money. We spend so much money on healthcare bureaucracy.
I remember those wait times from a really young age, sitting in the hospital waiting room with my grandmother. She had COPD, so I really want to try to push this government to do better.
It's an issue that we have to work on, but it's not a simple solution. We have to be innovative in how we think about this crisis and how we address it.
Hi. So good to see you.
Great to see you. So
You look wonderful.
So do you.
Thank you.
Right.
So where's your family from?
So my mom's Polish, my father's Slovakian. I was born in Slovakia. And so now when people ask me where are you from, I say I'm from Poland, and I feel, you know, I'm Polish Canadian. Those are my roots, but the beauty of living here is that we celebrate those roots and we learn from each other.
Yeah, my family is a big part of my life. Unfortunately, just before the campaign, I lost my older brother.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
It's really challenging at the time because that was in 2017 and the election was in 2018. But it was really hard not to have him there. The times that my parents had to, you know, leave at 6:30 in the morning with him to get to Princess Margaret so that he can get palliative care, right? Because it wasn't available
Here in Brampton, yeah.
was really heartbreaking. And so I think of my story and I think of my family's experience, but then I wonder how many other people are also going through that here in our city.
Well, I hear you 100%. It makes me think of people who live in rural and remote communities that their drive would be 5 hours. And I'm still trying to maintain my license, so I need to work a certain number of hours in the hospital per year. So actually, I'm going in on Saturday for a shift, which will be interesting with the corona outbreak and everything.
Yes, oh my gosh.
So when it comes to hallway medicine and hallway healthcare, one thing that we did is restructure our healthcare system, so to have less bureaucracy and so that we can focus the funding truly where it's needed in the front lines, for nurses and doctors and paramedics, etc.
This wasn't something that just sort of started overnight, and it's been because of the neglect of the Liberals and previous Conservative governments. It isn't just about a new hospital here in this city or in any city. It is really about making sure that long-term care, palliative care, mental health services are available to people in the community.
So I'm glad that you mentioned both mental health and home care, because both of these sectors will be a huge part of the solution to end hallway healthcare.
I think this has been a really great conversation. There's a lot of people that I want you to meet today to maybe learn a little bit more about these stories firsthand. So let's get going.
Okay.
After you.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. I'll just focus on getting me out of here because I don't want to deal with any accidents.
Sounds good.
Neither of us wants to go to the hospital.
That would not be.
That would not be fun for either of us.
Although I know the hospital very well.
Sarah wants Natalia to meet someone for whom cuts at Brampton Civic Hospital are a matter of life and death.
How is your day going so far?
My day has been going quite well, very quiet. Later on, it's going to get a little bit busier because later on I do have dialysis, and I do that overnight. The need for my dialysis is obvious. My kidneys are failing, and I do it at night is because I like to be able to have a productive day during the rest of the day. But I believe it'll be probably next month. They're going to be shutting down the nocturnal shift that I'm on because there's a new wing opening up at Etobicoke General.
That's my hospital.
Oh, very good.
I work in the emergency room.
So you must know about that coming.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of our nurses that are doing the nocturnal are going over to Etobicoke, which is going to leave our nocturnal like with no nurses. So it'll be shut down.
I don't know exactly why that decision was made to move the facility to Etobicoke General, but probably it will result in some efficiencies that we can reinvest. But your service will continue. It will just be administered at Etobicoke General Hospital.
While I can appreciate that we're trying to consolidate the services, Etobicoke General is not in the Peel region. It is out of the way for Brett.
That's a good point because actually the way I get to Brampton Civic is I take Brampton Transit. And to go to Etobicoke General, that's going to be a little bit further.
Again, we're trying to move away from this fragmented thinking about healthcare that Brampton care has to solely happen in Brampton. We are the region of Peel, and we're trying to consolidate our services. So you can access services in Mississauga or Etobicoke. I appreciate that might be a little too far for you.
In Brett's case, this is a life or death matter for him. If he's not able to get the treatment he needs, he could potentially become very ill. And then most likely, Brett, we know you're going to end up in a stretcher in the hallway at Brampton Civic, and I think requires us to ensure that those programs are going to stay in place. I think that's our big ask is to, really think about some of the cuts that the Conservative government is making and really understand that, yes, I understand we need to create efficiencies, but we can't do so at the expense of patients' outcomes or experiences.
Certainly, I will chat with the Minister of Health, and if there is something that we can do to expand the hours for perhaps a nocturnal dialysis program, that would be something that would make a tangible difference for you. But we just need to make sure that there are enough patients that will sort of justify having that program there. I learned a lot from that individual, and with the Peel Memorial, we should be probably looking at maybe expanding services that are happening there. But the government will not be able to dictate to each facility how and where they should be providing services.
All right.
I think the goal is to focus on people in Ontario, and there are always different ideas at the table how we can do better, how we can restructure our healthcare system, and not all of them are always good. And
that's fair.
Even though I'm a member of this government, I can admit that sometimes decisions need to be reversed, and that's okay. But I think that also shows a sign of leadership, that we listen and we take action.
To end her date, Sarah wants Natalia to meet a family that lost a loved one because the mental health system failed.
We were earlier talking about mental health and some of the challenges families here in Ontario, but in particular here in Brampton that we face.
Afterwards, I received a call from the hospital that on 26th June, around 5:15 or 5:30, that Prashant passed away.
So sorry.
And
I'm so sorry.
still unable to understand what happened.
On the day that my brother passed away, they had a weight-bearing grate in the ceiling and a chair in the washroom. So my brother took his robe that he was wearing, I believe 2 robes, tied them together, attached them to the weight-bearing grate, and hung himself. Now, we have no idea within those 3 hours at what point he died.
Prashant died. He's no longer, he's a picture now.
It was 100% preventable.
Yeah,
And so
absolutely.
at the end of the day,
And I agree with you.
and at the end of the day, what's happened is that these facilities have lost our trust.
In addition to what your family experienced, the wait times for mental health services have grown since 2014. They haven't been reduced. So I don't know how many more Prashant Tiwaris are out there.
In terms of mental health, you know, our government, since we came into power, we are focusing on mental health and addictions. From your story, it sounds like your son was just at the beginning of his journey and trying to seek help, and the systems have failed him, and it was a domino effect. And I'm again really sorry that this is what you're going through.
The average wait time here in the Peel region for a young person to receive mental health supports is 797 days. That's almost 800 days. Somebody in this city is waiting, and that's in Mississauga as well. So for us as legislators, we need to make sure that this community has the services it deserves.
Yeah.
We need to make sure there are real investments, Natalia, in mental health supports, not cutting programs. We cannot do that. What I'm curious about is, what are we doing now? We can't wait 10 years to get people supports. They need them now.
The way that we go and get regular health checks with our doctors.
Absolutely.
Having the facilities or having the personnel to give us regular mental health checks, you know, just the ability where it should be kind of a cultural norm.
We do know that mental health is an issue. Mental health is health, and people are suffering. And that's why our government has made mental health a priority. We have established a mental health center of excellence, which has never existed in Ontario before. And so this center is for research and for innovation, but also for collecting data. If there is an institution that it's happening more frequently, then clearly it's to send off an alarm to our ministry to then launch these investigations. So I think we can agree that the status quo isn't working. Perhaps there were some services that were eliminated, but that's because we want to make sure that the money that we are funding goes to services that actually meet the needs of the population.
What was said to Gotham, was that, well, in Mississauga, there is a program that is now currently being funded. I think that's really cold comfort for a lot of people here in our city.
However, I understand that the overall goal is less suicides.
Absolutely.
Right? Better mental.
I think we have the same.
That we can definitely agree on.
And so the ultimate goal is, it's not about who gets the solution first, but it's about getting to the solution together and having a unified vision.
The story of what happened to the Tiwari family is extremely tragic and heartbreaking. We should use this story as an example of what we can learn from it and how we can do better as a society and as a government.
Perfect. No, this was really great, Natalia. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really enjoyed our date. How did you feel about everything?
Oh my goodness. Beyond the partisan politics, like your perspective with your constituents and their lived experiences. And so there's definitely a lot I will be taking back to my colleagues and having those discussions. So thank you. This is really important, and I had a lot of fun, and you're still my favorite date.
Beautiful.
The center ladies.
The center ladies.
All right.
It was so good to see you.
Take care. Be safe.
Take care.
All right,
Bye.
Take care.
Now it's Natalia's turn.
Hi. Good morning. How are you? We both said that at the same time. So cold
It is very windy. Let's do one of
fist
these.
pumps. Oh my goodness. really scary, eh?
It is, absolutely. And I myself am feeling very, very overwhelmed with everything that's going on.
Natalia wants to take Sarah to see what new frontline mental health programs can do to take the pressure off hospital bed capacity.
So how has this really changed the way Peel Police operates, and how many, in terms of statistics?
When we go to a call on our own, 90% of the time, we're bringing that person to the hospital, whereas when we bring a crisis worker with us, that gets reduced down to 27% of the time. Right now, we average about 2.5 hours each visit to the hospital that we wait before we're released by the hospital and a decision is made. And so in a dollars and cents capacity, that's because there's always 2 officers with the client, that's basically $1.95 million a year that we're spending just in salaries sitting in emergency rooms waiting.
Having a crisis worker with the police officer, because when someone contacts the crisis line who is in real crisis, is expecting somebody to come over and help them to cope with that situation. And thereby the crisis worker will be able to come up with an effective safety plan and follow-up plan.
It's been really good to be influenced by people that have a non-police perspective on a situation. And with that, to give the policing perspective to that crisis worker as well.
I think it would help, as you've shared, really open your eyes to all of the different ways you can interact with somebody. So in addition to funding, response programs, I think we need to see the adequate funding of all social services in our region so that we can ensure people are getting the services and supports they need so they don't end up in crisis. I think that's where we're really going to see the long-term business case being made in terms of how these programs will really, truly have an impact in our communities.
It's only been 2 months, but we're collecting data and we're very excited. We also want to demonstrate that with these 2 units, how much actual savings have been made to the system, not only by not having police officers, at the hospital waiting and increasing that hallway, medicine hallway healthcare, but also from the side of the hospital, how many savings are realized when that person can actually be helped through, that crisis intervention and then connected to services on the ground. We do realize that 2 units may not be sufficient, but I'm really looking forward to looking at some of the data coming out, because I do think that it'd be great if we were able to get a few more units on the ground. And yeah, mental health is health. I was expecting Sarah to be happy because this is something to celebrate. Our parties do have an effect on our, philosophies. For us, we want to look for solutions wherever they're coming from. If it's a good solution and there's a good return on investment and it works for our communities, we as a government, we will support it.
Natalia, how are
How's
you?
it going?
Great, it's so good to see you. It's been so long.
I know, lovely to see you as well.
Likewise. Well, I'm glad to get this date started. Show me the way.
All right, come on over.
To end her date, Natalia wants one of her government's medical advisors to meet with Sarah to talk about the challenges to the province's medical system during the COVID-19 crisis.
Welcome, everyone.
Thank you, Natalia. Really appreciate this. Looking forward to an interesting conversation.
It's been several months since you took me on a date, and the world as we know it has changed, of course. But I think what's really interesting to note here is the opportunity for digitization. I think for many companies and businesses in Ontario, the pandemic has forced them to go online, and I think it also pushed our government to think outside of the box in terms of like a digital health strategy, which we were already working on. But I think that's going to be one of the bigger solutions to the problems that we were having in terms of building capacity within our healthcare system.
Digital health is one aspect. Many people would prefer to continue to visit primary care or be monitored at home, or other aspects of healthcare in digital ways, virtual care. That's one aspect. The other aspect is to truly put the person at the center.
So I think it's really, really important that we evolve not only from the patient-centered care aspect, but it's patient and family-centered care. I think the most important thing is that it's going to be one health team responsible for that patient, regardless where they are physically located, whether it's at home, whether it's in the hospital, whether it's in long-term care. It's one team responsible, and so there's that continuity of care, and the health records hopefully will follow as well, where we have a robust electronic health record so that providers can easily access information. That will lead to cost savings, but also, which is most important, better quality centered care.
I think that what we need to be very careful, because in theory you're right, and in practice some of the Ontario health teams are working beautifully, others not as well, because it's early stages. And the challenge and the opportunity for all of you in politics and for us outside of politics, by choice I must say, is that we use crisis to leverage for good structural change, for change that when we look 20 years from now, we will say, wow, yes, was a tough time, yes, was a difficult time, but we use it to create something better for the future that we will not regret. I'm thrilled that you're doing this together.
Yes, yeah.
And that you build the relationships. There are many areas I'm sure that you can find a lot of commonality, and areas where not, and it's about learning from one another and pushing the right things for Ontarians.
All right.
Okay, well,
Thank
thank
you
you
so
so
much.
much.
I'm giving you a
Thank
virtual
you.
hug. Really great to see you.
Yes.
This was really great for me to kind of just get some dedicated time with somebody like Natalia, who does come from a very different world than I do, and just get to hear her side of the story and really try to understand her perspective.
This opportunity was great. I got to learn much more about her and who she is and where she comes from. Also about her philosophies and what she thinks as an individual.
So how have you been? It's been like forever.
Yeah, it's been very, very busy. So as you probably know, I went back to work in the front lines. And so every time I went in, there was a new protocol. And of course, it was scary at times because we really didn't know what we were dealing with. But I just have such amazing colleagues, my nursing friends, and also PSWs and physicians. We all came together as a team. But how about you? You've been keeping healthy and active. You look great.
Yeah, thank you. So do you. No, I think for a lot of people, through COVID, there's been a sort of centering of our health and, focusing on our well-being. But for me, I think it's been very interesting just trying to navigate. We surged in casework and trying to understand how to, continue to serve our constituents in a new and innovative way. There were so many challenges throughout COVID for people. I think through COVID, we really saw where the cracks were and we saw crises amplified. And so I think it's incumbent on us to learn from those issues and make sure that we're legislating changes when we get back.
Really, the silver lining through this process is how well the different levels of government really work together. Regardless of political philosophies, right? And our premier said it, there's no orange team, there's no blue team, there's just Team Ontario, Team Canada. Philosophically or politically, I don't think we will ever truly agree. I still don't agree with some of the things that she shared with me, but I think it was still very important to understand how she viewed the world, how she viewed the problem of hallway medicine. I think that really helps me understand how to frame solutions for her. I guess what we differ in is the proposed solutions and how to arrive to those solutions, but we know that more work is needed to end hallway healthcare.
The murder of George Floyd exposed many underlying inequities around the world. In Canada, it triggered a reckoning with systemic racism across the country, especially anti-Black racism. What does Canada need to do to address anti-Black racism and fulfill its promise of equality and opportunity for all? Our experiment plays political Cupid by taking two opposing politicians out of their comfort zone and forces them to listen to one another.
As we move towards addressing the injustice of the world, I also want to move speedily towards the economic empowerment.
We're sending them on a series of platonic dates to solve the thorniest issues facing Canadians.
I don't believe that there are any significant number of real racists.
I disagree with you like 100%.
Who will seduce the other with logic or passion? And what surprises are in store? This is Political Blind Date.
I was born in Montreal, Quebec. I was the third and final of kids to West Indian parents. I grew up at a time when I was always, the one black kid in the class. A school bus full of kids were passing by, and the school bus windows were down, and they pointed at me and yelled out the N-word. And I didn't know what it meant. I had no idea, but I knew that it meant to hurt. It was very upsetting. I remember, running home in tears. And explaining what had happened, and the stiffness of my parents and their reaction to it. I knew that something really awful had been said. I worked as a page for a year while going to school. And then after the page year was over, I was able to get a job with a member of parliament in their constituency office. I was about to start my PhD when I got the call to come back into politics. I accepted the job to work as a senior advisor to the trade minister. If we want to take a real swing at systemic discrimination, at anti-black racism, we need to start talking about a whole host and interrelated actions that we need to take.
I was born in Montego Bay, Jamaica. It was a rather different experience. Cultural shock for sure. As a young boy growing up in Jamaica, I can tell you I didn't experience any what would be defined as racism. I was painting houses up in the Thornhill area. There was a woman walking her dog, and the dog was off leash. Called out to the woman, and I said to her, could you call your dog? And I don't, want the dog around. And she came to me and she took the leash of the dog and she smacked me with it. And she did call me the N-word as well. I remember feeling extremely frustrated. After I called the police to get help, I felt worse. That firmed up my sense of understanding about economic opportunity, economic empowerment, and having money to do things that I wanted to do for myself. I know the need to ensure and encourage young Black Canadians to see themselves as part of the fundamental structural changes that are taking place in this country.
After the murder of George Floyd in the United States and the subsequent protests across the world, Canada has faced its own reckoning around anti-Black racism. And COVID-19's disproportionate impact on racialized communities further revealed the deep inequities experienced by people of color. What does Canada need to do to address anti-Black racism? More than 200 years of Black enslavement in Canada ended in the 1830s, but systemic anti-Black racism persists in almost every part of Canadian society. The Parliamentary Black Caucus has called for a series of commitments from the federal government to address anti-Black racism, including the gathering of statistics about Black representation in all sectors of society and setting aside resources to help improve the well-being of Black Canadians. But can the different levels of government work together to make these commitments effective? Greg and Michael are spending the day together, rare for politicians at different levels of government. Will they butt heads, or might they find common ground?
I've never been on a blind date before, and frankly, I haven't done this in 32 years, and I didn't know what I was doing then.
I am extremely excited about it because, I mean, the subject matter is, while it's topical, it's been a lived experience for myself, and I'm sure that it's been a lived experience for him as well.
First of all, we gotta measure. Can't change what we can't measure. You know, the economic tools are so key.
Federal government should and could play a role in developing, obviously, policies to help with respect to investment allowances for Black-owned businesses.
We've got to make sure that we have better representation. We've helped build this country. We've made contributions to its culture.
There's a vast array of things that needs to be done. I reflect on it almost every day because I am the one Black member of Toronto City Council. How are you, Greg?
Great to see you, Michael.
Very nice to meet you, man. Welcome to sunny Scarborough.
Well, thank you for welcoming me to your ward.
Good to have you,
This is, I think, we're the appropriate distance
That's
here.
it, yeah.
How long have you been in Scarborough?
Since I came in 1972. There was just so few Blacks in this area and in Toronto in general.
It's so
and
funny.
the question was, you know, where do you fit in?
Yeah.
Growing up in an area just to the east of here. One of the fathers had put up this large piece of rope, a swing. You swim across the creek, the Highland Creek area. And it was like fun. You try to be Tarzan and so on.
Right.
And one day, all the kids came to the area and they had cut it down. We knew that the aldermen, because at the time they called aldermen, not councillors, lived in the area. So we all decided we're going to walk over to the alderman's home. And I got to tell you, when we got to the door, I knocked and opened the door, and I explained, just close the door on me. And I was so hurt by it, so hurt. And I thought, one day, I'm going to be, you know, a politician. What is it that we want to try to do? We want to try to help a displaced group of people, because I think that part of our challenge is we feel displaced. Looking at issues around systemic racism and some of the challenges that we're experiencing.
As a federal MP, I've had the pleasure of traveling the country, and I think there's a renaissance going on.
Yeah.
There's a consciousness that we need to help.
We often find ourselves in situations where people can come at us and speak to us in a way as if we don't exist, or we don't matter, or that there's a structure that allows them to be able to come and talk to us in that way. I don't have to be doing anything.
Yeah.
Someone can just create that problem that I'm doing something.
That's unconscious bias.
Well, unconscious bias, and it's accepted as normal.
Right.
We've got to basically affect that.
Canadians are looking at us now and looking, they want to help, they want to be allies.
It won't last forever. And we really need to take...
Well, it's lasted longer than I thought.
You're right. No, you're right.
This is the... I mean, I'm 51. This is the first time I've seen this.
This is not the time for us to be disorganized and not wanting to work collectively together.
So I accept disorganized. See, this is where I differ. I'll say disorganized, that doesn't bother me.
Right.
The question is that we're working collectively.
We should get going. Are you ready?
I'm looking forward to being your date for the day.
All right, fantastic. Let's go.
After you, sir.
Thank you.
Hi, how are you?
Michael wants Greg to meet a local leader in Toronto who is working to address economic issues facing Black youth.
Corporate Canada underestimates their ability to move the dial when it comes to diversity. I think that diversity and inclusion has been diluted to, oh, there's a woman, there's a person of color, check.
Yeah.
And it's not a checkbox. Diversity is actually helping our economy. Organizations that lack diversity in their leadership make 19% less than their counterpart.
Yeah.
Leadership is usually Caucasian men. There's usually never any women. And this is the other piece that needs to be addressed is gender seems to have to happen first before then Black people can get in, well, we don't have gender equality, so we're going to work on that, and then we'll get to, visible minorities.
And that may be 10 years down the road.
Right.
Might.
So, wait your turn.
But that time has passed.
Right.
Right. Now it's a both and.
It has to be. We have to start holding corporations also accountable.
I think for a lot of people, when they look at our community, and in as much as they see the injustice and so on and so forth, they see something else.
Yeah.
They see our inability to afford to buy, whether or not it's a nice house in a nice neighborhood, our inability to buy and support ourselves, our inability to send our kids to the nice schools. They think of us as being a drain on the society.
Yeah. One of the things that we have at SEA is a policy strategy. At a federal, municipal, and provincial level, we tackle a policy that we have seen that has prohibited our young people from upward mobility.
Yeah.
When they come to us, most of them have been in conflict with the law already, and so now we're dealing with the aftermath. How are we going to get this young person employed? If a criminal record is what's getting in between you and employment, then we're going to pay for you to receive a pardon. In 2012, it used to cost $50 to get a pardon in Canada.
I know.
It now costs $720.
Yeah.
That's a significant jump. Yeah. And for a young person, having $720 to apply for a pardon because you can't find employment, having that is very unlikely.
You're absolutely right. So two things. One, the federal government is committed to taking that fee down to zero. It's not enough just to make it zero. We need to simplify this or just make it automatic.
It should be automatic.
Yeah.
We need all the partners to actually play their role, and we want to establish this level of prosperity, this level of respect, this level of integration and so on of people working together. Thank you so much for being with us today.
It was great. She was very instrumental in letting us know the importance of us on the intersectionality of things, of understanding not only just what the experience of Black people are, but the experience of Black women and Black women professionals.
Michael wants Greg to meet someone who thinks that politicians at all levels of government need to address systemic racism by fundamentally changing the way policies are designed and regulations are enforced.
And I think of Sheldon Levy as he's a mentor to me and so many others and so on.
That makes me feel old, but.
Oh, no, not at all. Systemic racism isn't simply to say that someone's a racist, because I believe that there are good people caught up in the system.
A young person comes to this park, and there happened to be a robbery way down there, and we think carding is okay. And that person then is stopped by the police. What does that young person, what does the family think? Does the family think, oh, I could trust the police? Or does the family begin by saying you can't trust them?
Do you know at one point the carding system here was used as a promotional tool? You've got a disenfranchised group of people that are being more marginalized in a system that allows others to promote themselves with policies.
There's a lot of good intent with policy. Where I think there's been a continuous falling down is on the regulation issue. Policy regulation begins with, I don't trust you. Regulators think that there will be people taking advantage of policy. When they are building the rules, they're saying to 100% of the people, I don't trust you. Those who have power have got to trust.
I've always felt that whenever you make an appeal to a rule or to a regulation, you've lost because that does indicate that you haven't been able to negotiate the way that people normally negotiate things.
You're elected to bring about change. And so when you have an issue, whether it's the rules of the police or whoever it is, they want to see, to use your example, Michael, when the little Black child comes to this park, they feel absolutely safe and they don't think themselves in any way different than the other child that's over there that happens to be white. You will make mistakes.
Yes.
That's just natural. Society, newspapers, TV shows cannot look at only the mistakes to put them on the front page.
Yes.
They have to look at the successes.
Right. Right.
Because what happens is that if it's only about mistakes that are highlighted, then people begin to feel themselves under pressure for trying.
Right.
Well, they will try, but they will try at things which they know will be 100% success, which means that much change.
You got it. Which then encourages the elected officials to continue because they see, hey, I could get elected because people are seeing success rather than only the failures.
All of us have a role to play in government, and we have to make sure that people can make mistakes in order to succeed.
Canada, in my opinion, is the greatest country in the world. It's got to be the greatest country in the world for every Canadian and every landed immigrant and everyone who sees the opportunity of coming here. That is a goal worthy of all of us working very hard.
100%.
Absolutely right.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Ready for that?
I'm ready, and Canada's ready. What I got out of that meeting, you know, a lifetime of experience, and especially experiences that Sheldon has had in his closeness to the Black Canadian community. What really has to happen is frankly, a real change in the heart. There has to be an attitudinal change.
An investment in Black excellence is an investment in economic empowerment, and economic empowerment is an essential part of justice.
So Michael, welcome to Ottawa-Gatineau.
It's great to be here. Looking forward to spending some time with you today.
I was in your great city of Toronto with the Prime Minister a couple of days ago for a big announcement. Did you catch it?
I caught it, Greg, and I will tell you that I was very pleased to hear the news.
I was really proud that we got this program launched. Now, Black business owners and entrepreneurs, it gives them now networked connections into the mainstream financial institutions.
Congratulations to you and the Black Caucus for pointing this out to certainly the Prime Minister and the government.
Now, we also have Black entrepreneurs networking with other Black entrepreneurs.
Now it's Greg's turn.
We have to ask ourselves that uncomfortable question is that when you start taking a look at the numbers and you break them down, I don't believe that there are any significant number of real racists.
I disagree with you like 100%. It usually takes something to bring that racism forward, and whether or not it's conscious or unconscious wise. But it really speaks to the systemic nature of things, that there is a built-in system that allows people to kind of just understand that, you know, you have your place and I have my place, and this is the way things are.
Most people, when they're exposed to that, when it comes out and they actually say it out loud, I find most people, not all, but most people would say, I guess it doesn't sound so right when I say it out loud.
Yeah.
And then they start saying, you know, how did I think about this? How do I conceive this world? And they're open to suggestions, I find.
Greg wants to introduce Michael to someone who is dedicated to making sure that there is more Black representation and participation in politics.
We have people in Alberta, we have people in Manitoba, so Saskatchewan, who are representing Leaderpool.
One of the things I thought that, Aliv, also you bring to the perspective on this, which is really interesting, is the different dynamics in different communities.
When I started Leaderpool, I didn't really know much about Black communities, meaning that I have been involved in community organizations, but not really many related to Black issues.
And that's why there needs to be more voices of diverse people within that diversity at the table to reflect the thoughts and ideas.
I found, though, in the last number of years that there is a greater and greater desire amongst the Black communities to work together.
You know, it's always easy to say government, 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 but you know what? We're also responsible of our destiny.
Great.
So what I'm seeing is that the speech we are having at Leaderpool is saying, you know what? let's do a step together. It doesn't give anything to me to be up and other people are down. Yeah. So we are supporting each other, and I'm seeing this coast to coast.
I want to tell the story of Blacks contributing to the general welfare of Canada.
Generally, the headline about us is that another young Black kid got shot.
Exactly.
Another young Black person got arrested for so and so and so. We want to shift that narrative to focus on those positive things, the development opportunities, the engagement, our businesses are working, our young people have opportunity, have hope, they can intern in businesses, they can get a solid education, they can get the engineering degrees, they can get all of those things.
They're
that
creating
we want.
prosperity.
Yeah, creating prosperity. God bless you, and
God
thank
bless
you
you
so
too.
much, and we look forward to working
And
with
you
you.
are doing so well, and I
Thank you.
admire you, and you are symbols, and we follow you guys. Don't forget that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Merci beaucoup.
She is right in terms of her focus and her direction, wanting to ensure that we can help to train and encourage more young Black Canadians to be involved with respect to community, be involved in terms of politics. She is seeking to bring different opinions and thoughts to the decision-making process in this country.
To wrap up his date, Greg needs Michael to hear from a young Black leader from Montreal.
Yes, pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you
Still
as
live in
well.
Montreal,
Oh,
actually.
there you
I went
go.
to Concordia University.
Fantastic. So then we'll have a lot to talk about. Being an English language minority in Quebec, as well as a visible minority, there's obviously a certain dynamic that we manage, and there are certain challenges that we live and experience in terms of access to information, resources, and often opportunities. How difficult is it for Black political leadership to influence getting adapted programs or adapted resources or identifying the issue and calling it what it is? Because I think often there's a gap. When we speak to the constituents, I'm speaking from a community leadership perspective, and they say, well, they're apathetic. Why should I vote? Nothing changes. It doesn't matter who's in power. We never get anything. What does the Black community need to do to improve, to capture and take a snapshot effectively and pass the ball to our representatives so that they can tell that story?
Quite often I come up against the revolutionaries and they say, well, I want this done. Here's a solution. I want it done yesterday.
Yeah.
And they don't realize the fight that we have to fight to get the system to change, to convince the system to change the legitimacy of the request, and then to actually come up with the solutions that can work in partnership with the community.
Yeah. An example of that, we just dealt with recently in Toronto, this request to defund the police. The revolutionaries, if you will, wanting to bring that noise and that discussion to the forefront about reforming policing. There is a necessity for the groups to come and to be loud and calling for changes. We won't necessarily get to the change that they prescribe or suggest is going to work, because sometimes it's fraught with a variety of different challenges that can actually make things worse.
With a very fragile ecosystem that already exists for our Black community, which is the foundation of any community really being autonomous and being able to create opportunities, jobs, and be able to scale their potential. You put COVID in the mix, we didn't know what this would look like. We weren't sure what ground zero would look like. And then George Floyd was murdered. So there was a lot of emotion, there was a lot of consensus that we had to do something. How do we increase the political literacy or civil engagement in our community?
Working on it.
Okay.
We're working on it. It doesn't make sense that there should be one Black councillor in the city of Toronto. City of Toronto.
Toronto?
Almost.
Right?
Yep. 3 million people.
Yeah, doesn't make any sense.
That makes no sense at all.
It doesn't make sense that there are only 5 Black
members of parliament.
Members of parliament. in 2020.
Yeah.
But it's going to take work, and a group of us are working on this.
I think we need to ensure we bring the young people in to understand the system.
Correct.
Interning is the opportunity.
Yes.
I'm bringing more, and I have always brought a lot of young people into the system. They also have to be prepared to put the time and effort in.
The work.
My overnight success took me at least 25 years.
I say
It's a long night.
It's a long
30 years to become an overnight success. That's my line.
So it's really important for us to do more. There is a crop of young Black leaders that are growing up and developing and so on, and those who are in need of mentoring and help, that we have to provide them with the assistance and the guidance to help them to advance themselves so that we can all be better for it.
Tiffany, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for what you do for us.
What I really enjoyed about getting to know Tiffany over the last couple of years is what she's doing on the ground. She is seeing how this plays out. Experiences which I think are similar to what Michael, as city councillor, would see on the ground in Toronto. I thought that the political blind date would have people of completely different approaches to issues, but I found there was a really large consensus between the two of us.
You know, when you first broached the idea with me, I didn't know really what to expect, particularly when you said to me, well, you're going to meet Greg Fergus. And I think you remember I said to you, another Black guy and two Black guys going to talk about systemic racism? I don't think we're going to be opposing the perspective or the views. I mean, does that make sense? I now think I have a new ally in terms of at my level of government, his level of government, to bring about changes, to have conversation.
So I know we're going to be talking to each other to try to help move the agenda forward.
There's an opportunity for us to be able to work collaboratively on a number of issues that could help the Black community, but more importantly, to help the entire country of Canada.
It's been said before, but this is the start of a beautiful friendship.
Absolutely. Thanks, my friend.